on this computer. Yeah, it is starting. So hello everyone, I'm super happy to see you. Since I could not be on the last call, I'm really happy to be here today. I really don't know how you feel. I will give you the word later on with this book. I was sometimes a little bit overwhelmed because I feel like this book opens up such important doors for my mind, but let's say my conditions or what I've learned through my life is just so big and so present still that I try to make progress, but it really is challenging because it's really difficult for me to say in English, but in Switzerland we say you have these highways and there you're so fast on those highways you've known for years. And when I get to know something, like I get to know stuff in this book, I try different roads, but those are little small roads where you have to drive slowly, but so fast I end up at the highway again, the highways in my brain that say, yeah, you lack, you don't have any money, it is so hard to get money and all of that crap. But really just for me, this book, and that is my number one learning. Yeah, that is amazing. Victoria says she is creating neuro pathways. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm really, what this book really helps me with is it brings a lot of awareness that there are different ways. Even if I cannot drive them all the time in my life yet, I know there are different ways, and I take more and more awareness to these new ways. They are possible too, and it just, yeah, needs some work and some openness and some, for me, also focus more and more and more on the possibilities that we have in this life. And that's really something that I realized through reading this book that really supported me in opening myself up for other possibilities. And with that, I would really welcome you in this call. And I would love to invite you to just take a seat and just for a minute, feel the feet on the ground and close your eyes and take some deep breath into your belly. And to really try to arrive in this present moment with what I've said, with my one insight that I shared with you, and allow yourself to let my insight sink into your body. What does that make with you? How do you feel about that? How was it for you to read those first 8 chapters? If you haven't read everything yet, it doesn't matter. What is for you one big learning, one insight that you had through reading this book or coming to this book club? And continue breathing into your belly and arriving more and more wherever you've been until now. Doesn't matter, for this moment, for the next 30, 60, how many minutes, we will be in this space and inspire our minds, our souls, our hearts for a new way, for a new relationship with money. So take a few minutes where you listen into yourself. What is an insight, a learning you had so far with reading this book? And when you feel like your mind is wandering off, take a breath into your belly, feel your feet on the ground. Listen into your heart, how you feel right now. What is going on inside of your body right now? Whenever you feel your mind drifting off, gently bring it back into this moment, into this space, into your body. allow yourself to really and fully arrive in this moment. And then we come back slowly but surely into the space. You can start to move your fingers, your toes, your feet. Try to bring your awareness back into this room, into this space. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to us. I love your cat, Victoria. So cute. Wanted to say hi too. So, and with this little tiny welcoming meditation, I would love to hear from you. I love it. You're so cute. Bye, Victoria. It was nice seeing you. No. I would really love to hear, because I just realized that we have read really a lot of the book, and I really thought for myself about it. What did it bring me so far? What did it open up for me so far? And that was really one of my insight. And I would like to hear if you had such an insight like this too. So if you would like to tell us about it, just turn on your microphone and tell us about your insights, your learnings you've had so far, or good experiences, challenging experiences, doesn't matter, whatever you would like to share.
I guess I'll go. Good morning, everybody. I don't know. I always feel like when I like make the effort to make like money mindset a priority, sometimes it kind of like ebbs and flows because it's such a huge topic and it can be really takes some time for your system to recalibrate like the new things that you're learning about money and the way of which that you have been programmed around money. But I'm always just like feels like this huge like archaeological process of like I'm always just like profound of like what I find when I like put in the effort to um do that kind of work. And it's not just like sometimes it's hard, but also other times it's very beautiful, and there's a lot of blessings to uncover when you make it a priority and show up for it.
Yeah, that's so true that um it's like when we show up, the more we show up, the more like the abundance feels like it has the ability to flow. I've noticed while reading this book how it's like really not a book about money for me, but about just like the limited beliefs that I hold. Because when doing the exercises from these chapters, none of it, not much like came up about like actual money, but it was more so just like about um yeah, the limited beliefs that I keep in my mind. So but I guess I see how it all ties together, how once we recognize those limited beliefs that's just keeping us in a lack mentality in general, that it opens us to prosperity. And I've also seen how um abundance doesn't automatically equate to like a dollar sign, but how like the giving and receiving of life brings other forms of value, not just monetary value. And that's super cool to see. But yeah, this just, it doesn't like read like a money book to me. It's very much just like, hey, let's get rid of the crap that's holding you back and see what happens. So I can't wait to get to the end and then, yeah, see what happens.
I can share. I feel like for me, I agree that it's not truly about the money. It's really like, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the book Skinny Bitch, but it's actually about veganism. It's not about being skinny, but like they just titled it Skinny Bitch to sell copies. And I kind of think she did that with the book. Like, it's really about like, are you living the life that was meant for you? Or are you living the life according to like other people's ideas about how you should live? And it's really hard to separate the two. And like, even for me, like I got to a point where I felt like I wasn't ready to keep reading. And I actually have lost the book now. Like I misplaced it. And I almost wonder if like I'm not ready for it yet because I'm still processing just the idea of like being aware of like the way I've been programmed and, you know, just really like sitting on it and letting it sink in because I had never really like thought about it before. I always assumed it was me making all the decisions. I didn't really think about the layers through which I was making decisions. And so I think I'm just like, I need to like have my training wheels on a little while longer before I can take them off and start riding a bike type of thing. But yeah, like I think, you know, just realizing that the programming exists and, you know, also discovering what it is you want, because maybe you don't want a whole lot of money, you know, maybe that's not for you. You just need enough money for the kind of life you want. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what kind of life do I want? And I've been struggling with that because I don't actually know yet. So I feel like I need to like sort a lot of stuff out within myself before I can like go chase after money. That's just my personal experience of it.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with like needing the time to just kind of stew in the information and because I'm not somebody who wants to do like a half-assed job at my self-development and my self-discovery and my money mindset. Like I really want to do this, you know, really knock down the rotting foundations and like, you know, building it intentionally and with something that's going to be longer lasting and sustainable. Um, and this book has definitely brought like old things that I thought I understood in like a new light. And it's like this huge, like unraveling the onion kind of process. Something that like definitely came up for me this last week was like, it's not about the money, but it's the fact that like I have to work this job to make my ends meet. And then by the time that it's my days off, you know, I had to be of service to my family. But by the end of the week, I'm like freaking beat and I don't really want to like be of service, you know? It's not that I don't love my family, it's just that I'm tired of chasing the money the way I feel like I need to in order to survive, and how that takes away from me being of service to the people that I love. And that's not a life that I want to live because I want to be of service. I want to have the emotional and mental and physical freedom to do so without, you know, worrying about meeting my needs.
And what I really love about what some of you said is also I don't really know what I want yet, but I know what I don't want. And that's really one thing my mother told me when I was a teenager, and I absolutely loved it because teenage years were horrible for me. I didn't have any idea what I want to do with my life. And in Switzerland, you end high school when you're 16, and then you're supposed to decide what you want to do. Here it is not with college and all that stuff. We don't really have that. So with 15 to 16, depending when your birthday is, you have to decide what you want to do with your life. And I was a teenager teenager, I was like, I have no ideas on what base should I decide what I want. And then my mother told me, Mira, when you don't know what you want, it doesn't matter. Do you know what you don't want? And that is already a good thing, because then when you have an opportunity, you can first check, do I want it or don't I? And if I don't want it, I leave it right behind. And if I say, yeah, maybe, I don't know, then I can try it. And either it works for me or it doesn't. And that really, really helped me, because what I realized, what I really don't want is, I have for years now, I always have the exactly the amount of money I need to survive. I have this survival mode is so deep in my system that I just say, I don't want to be in the survival mode anymore. I mean, I don't need to have millions and millions and millions, but just more than what I need. That if I see a cute dress, I can buy this cute dress. If I want to go for a drink with my friend, I can go for a drink with my friend, that I don't have to think 5 times about it if I can afford it now. So that's for me something I really realized what I really don't want anymore.
Something that I'm seeing while reading this book is more so, I think it was towards the beginning, where seeing the exchange of money as like an energy, so that came up for me. So instead of saying like, I guess I've stepped into having a little bit of faith of, if there's something that I want, like I've purchased some like extra crystals this month, and instead of being like, oh no, I can't afford that, or I shouldn't do that, I'm seeing it more so as the giving and receiving of life versus the monetary value of it. So I'm having faith that it like all comes full circle, that it's like, since we are, especially I know Victoria, like being giving, like if we're not receiving, it like closes us off, right? I think of the infinity symbol when I think of giving and receiving, like how if we're only giving, like there's nothing coming back, but we have to also be open to receiving. So instead of just like looking at stuff as from the lack perspective, I'm looking at it as, okay, I've been giving, now I'm going to receive this with grace and ease, and somehow like the bank account works out.
I love that so much, because I'm that kind of person. I give everything I have. I would give you my last shirt and walk naked through the city without really, I would do that immediately. But to allow others to give me something, to go into a role of receiving, is so hard for me. For example, my birthday is on the 10th of June, and I wrote some of my friends if they could save the date, because I would like to do something, and my roommate is one of my best friends, and she said, yeah, what would you like to do? And I said, yeah, I thought about organizing a little ritual, a birthday ritual for me with some of our friends. And she said, Mira, you are the birthday child, or however you call that in English, and others are supposed to organize something for you because you are the one having birthday, right? And I was like, yeah, but no, I can't ask other people to do that for me. And she was like, of course you can. Allow yourself to receive. And I mean, this is, like you said, is on an emotional level, or on a relationship level, but it is exactly the same with money. When a friend of mine doesn't have a lot of money, I'm the first who says, okay, come, I buy you a coffee if I can, somehow. But if somebody else wants to buy coffee from me, it is super hard for me. And to really get a higher awareness and the openness for both roles, giving and receiving, I really, really love what you said. I really did. It resonated so much with me.
I think it's so common, especially for those of us who are like empaths or highly sensitive people, or recovering people pleasers. We would give anything to care for other people. But once we struggle so much on receiving the care and love that we give to other people, that is something I especially struggle with because I'm a caregiver for the elderly, and so like I'm constantly like pouring out of my cup. But um I don't like, you can like seriously, you know, like feel the sense of survival when you get into those little like purchases, or somebody wants to offer you something. Like you can feel it in your body of what that sense of survival feels like. And especially when it comes to self-care, and I get into like those little like pangs in my stomach of like, ooh, I probably shouldn't buy this. And like what really resonated with me about what Alana said was the faith that comes with treating yourself and doing it anyways without even giving it so much thought. Because if you just like do it and not give it so much thought, it always works out. So it's like not even worth like letting yourself go through that spiral, because it feels like such a uncomfortable spiral to let yourself get into.
Yeah, and it's such an easy spiral to go into. Like just because we get caught in our thinking. But that was part of the interesting, one of the little suggestions at the end of the chapter of giving without like making a, I took it as like giving without making a scene of it. Like even if it's a nickel or a dollar, like dropping it into like the take a penny, leave a penny, take a penny jar. But just kind of like doing it without expecting anything back. And that like, I think that that's huge too. I think that sometimes we give and we're like, oh, but wait, I'm not getting anything back, when it should just be like the giving in itself is what's giving back to us, because we're offering ourselves in service. And so maybe like opening up to the fact of like, I don't need to be rewarded for it. It just is something that naturally happens in the universe of like, okay, it's almost like I have to tell myself it's safe for me to give. And so then on the flip side of that, it's safe for me to receive.
You know, what I really liked about this suggestion was that you don't have to, she wrote, the best way to do it is that nobody notices that you do it. And I really liked, I mean, especially I'm also that kind of person. I always have some coins in my purse, and when I see a homeless person or somebody is asking me, I most of the time I give something, because I just feel like, who am I to judge what they do with the money? And even if it is just 10 cents, I feel like I try to give what I can. But always when I give whatever it is, 10 cents, $1, it doesn't matter, there is this little tiny voice inside of my brain that says, good job. And I don't like it, and I really try not to make it on purpose, but it is a ego part. There is just the ego part in it when I do things like that. And what I really loved about this suggestion was, this showed me a way where I don't have the ego part, because I have no idea what is happening with that money or with whatever I'm giving in the outside. And I really liked that, because it was really selfless. It was really just to do something good and to go into this flow, not with the intention of anything. It was just giving something into this flow.
That reminds me of the word, oh, sorry. Oh, that just reminds me real quick of the word mitzvah in the Jewish culture, and it's giving without like there's nothing that you can receive back. So it's like the purest form of service to somebody else. It's a mitzvah because you're doing it with the intention of knowing that you can't receive on the other end. And I think that it is such an ego thing to be like, oh, well, I did a good thing. So yeah, woohoo. But that's just like another limited belief in our thinking. And I think part of like societal constructs of like, oh, the whole good job. Yeah.
Victoria, did you want to say something too?
It's gone.
Okay. And I really, really would love to pick up this word faith that you said, Alana, because I feel like for chapter 7, that was a key word for me too, to go into this faith, this trust into myself, but also the universe, as she says at the exercises she's suggesting. And I would like to, if you made a list, or also if you didn't, doesn't matter. Do you have reasons why you have faith into yourself or into the universe? I would love to exchange some thoughts, some insights of faith into yourself or the universe with you. So do you have some?
I think my biggest one is just knowing that like already my life is a miracle. I have like survived through so much heartache and trauma and childhood trauma, and I've made it this far. And just like anchoring into that kind of faith that like I've already had like rock bottom and it can only get like better from here. Not saying that life won't get hard, but like I am older, I am more equipped with tools now to cope with the hardness of life, and that yeah, that it's just gonna get better because my life is already like a miracle. And so that really helps me.
I had, so yeah, Victoria, that's so beautiful. Because it's kind of like now you're on the upswing. And you know that thing, life can be difficult, but just better equipped to deal with it. But that's kind of like one of the reasons that I have faith in myself is because I can do hard things. Like I know that in my past, like I've done difficult things and come out the other side and been like, maybe that wasn't so difficult. And also I have faith in myself because I'm constantly learning to make better choices, like seeing choices in the moment and knowing that I have the capability of choosing what's right for my future self.
Wow, I love it. Both what you said, it's just so beautiful. I have faith into myself because even though I am very self-conscious about my outside being, so with my body and stuff, I have a really difficult story in this life, but I love my soul. I love my inner being that is so magical. It is sparkling, it is beautiful, it is pure, and I just have so much faith into my soul because I feel like I am a magical soul. We all are magical souls. And I have such a big, big faith into my soul because it is a wonderful soul. And that really gives me faith into myself. And the universe is for me, actually, I am learning that I can trust the universe because it has shown me before that I can really trust, because I've had situations also with money where I really stood in my room and I was like, if I don't have any money until in 7 days, I really don't know how I'm going to pay my stuff. I really have to start selling my stuff. So please, life, I am now at my limit. I am here. I reached the limit. Please support me. I can't anymore. And no joke, 3 days later, money came in ways I would have never expected. So life kind of proved to me that I can trust the universe, but I feel like I have such a deep belief in I'm unsafe, I'm not held, I'm lonely, I'm alone, I have to fight for everything, that I'm still learning. But life has already proved to me in small and small and small steps that I can trust. So with these experiences, I am learning more and more to have faith into the universe.
That's really interesting that it's actually when I have found that when we surrender to the resistance of our thinking, that that's when magical things happen, because like you basically surrendered to like, okay, universe, like I'm ready for you to take care of me, I'm ready for you to do something, and then it happened. So it's like you are no longer it's kind of like, you know, when you kink a hose, like and it stops the water, like at some point we step on the hose of life, when all we need to do is take our foot off and let the water flow, and then life can actually flow. And yeah, I think we relinquish the like I'm in control, like, or if it's meant to be, it's up to me type of mindset. I think when we just like surrender, it allows a whole new energy to come through and just flow. Like that's just, it's perfect because you embraced what is, like you had no resistance to what was happening in the moment, and you just surrendered and you allowed yourself to be a receiver, which is amazing.
And you know, for me, it is really important. I am this kind of person. For me, it is really important that I feel with every cell of my body that I feel I do what I can. I really do. I do what I can. But when I reach the point where I realize, but now I can't anymore, I just can't, that then I put aside this deep, deep belief system of mine, I am alone, in I am not alone. I am held from the universe, held by a lot of people in my surrounding, and to really let go that I feel I have to do it, and to allow myself to receive, as you said. That really is, I feel for me, it is so important really to do what I can. But when I reach the point that I can't, to also allow myself to have limits, and to really honestly tell myself, now I reached the limit, and it doesn't make me weak, it doesn't make me whatever. Everyone has their limits in a positive sense, where we can really say, and now I need something, please support me. Doesn't matter if it is people or universe or whatever. Yeah, we may allow ourselves that we need support sometimes. What are you thinking, Victoria? Where you're at?
I was just thinking how, you know, people is just, or like the support of other people and the support of our tribe is kind of like another form of currency or abundance. I'm also trying to take notes for our graphic, like a compilation, I guess, of our topics. I just wanted to kind of digress a little bit. What was that word that you were talking about, Alana? Mitzvah? Is it mitzvah? And how do
Yeah,
you
mitzvah. Wait, no, I gotta I gotta I'm pretty sure it's, sorry, now my husband's doing something at the back. Mitzvah. I'll have
Okay.
to look that one up maybe. But I'm pretty sure that's how you, yeah.
Thank you.
And how was it for you with the doubts? Because after chapter 8, there is this first suggested exercise with anticipate your obstacles. Where do you feel like there could be doubts on your way, or there are doubts on your way? What did you address? Did you address something? And if yes, what did you address?
So I I did those. One that I had was, I believe my thoughts of not being worthy, and I meet this by knowing it is just my thinking and not who I am. And then another one is, it's hard work, and I meet this by setting up systems in place to help me keep track of what needs to be done.
Mhm. Mhm.
So something for me that's really real, it kind of like it's like a current problem, but then I could see it becoming more of a problem as I like start to step into like my own success is I had a very jealous mother. And so anything that I have ever anything good that I've ever done in my life, and especially now as I'm an adult, I get a lot of jealousy thrown at me from my own mother, and how that kind of like makes me feel like I have to stay small because I don't want to make anybody else feel uncomfortable. I don't want people to be jealous of my own hard work. And it's really frustrating when you pour your heart and soul into whatever you're creating only to get like the green eyes towards you, and they start to like resent you, and then when you actually find the success, they come people who were not supportive of you and are toxic, they come crawling back at you like they are the reason why you're successful, and that holds me back pretty a lot.
Mhm. Mm. For me, it is that I have still, I have a very deep belief system that says life is hard, life is a fight, it is just exhausting, and it is a burden and blah. And I nurtured this with very self-destructive habits. I worked on them quite a lot so far, but I still got them. Some of them are food, where I am a really, really bad emotional eater, and it makes me heavy, it makes me feel sick. It takes all my energy, then I gain weight, then I feel bad, and it just, I mean, it is this downward spiral, and that's just one of it. Where I'm really trying to yeah, work on those habits. So I'm really, the last few weeks I really started to work on those habits of making my life harder than it is. I mean, life is hard sometimes, and that is okay, but I have so many self-destructive habits that make it even harder in order to nurture this belief system if life is hard. So if I make my life even harder, that's the truth that I live by, and that's just the truth I really don't want to live by anymore. So I'm really trying to rehabit some of those negative habits, or just those difficult habits. That is a really big one for mine, because it also, like you said, Alana, I mean, it is said that this book is about money, but in the end, it is about us and our mindset and our whole being, what we've learned, what we are, what we've learned, how life is, and what we want a life to be, what we want us to be. That is really a big part of me, because what I really, and that is one thing I really wanted to mention for this call, because for these 2 chapters, that is something I really realized. It is about the frequency. It is not about the amount of money. It is not even about the money itself, as you said too. It is about the frequency you step into. And if you have a community, if you have a tribe that supports you in raising your frequency, it can be that your money is flowing too, because you raise your frequency with your tribe. It can be that you raise your frequency with money, and because you raised your frequency, you suddenly will meet the people you wished for in your life all along. So that is really one key learning I really take with myself after these chapters we read now. It is about the frequency and the tool. As you said, Victoria, we have so many tools. All of us have so many different tools. We just have to find the one tool or the few tools that support us in raising our frequency, because when we raised it, it will have an influence of every area in our life. And that really is a a super big learning for me. And it also takes a lot of pressure of me, because I always felt like I have so many places I have to work on. No, honestly, you have to decide where you want to work on, with what tools you want to work on, and it will have a big impact on every area in your life.
We just have to get the fuck out of our own way.
Yeah, to take the foot off this fucking hose. That is the problem. I love that image that you said, because really I've had really some horrible weeks, really bad, but I also make it so much worse for myself. And I'm like, Mira, come on, your life is bullshit already. Why do you make it so much worse by all that stuff? And it's stupid. It's really stupid.
When with regards to like the frequency, I have actually found myself coming back to gratitude, like just being like gratitude for my little family and having my little house, and that does feel like it raises the vibration so much that all the other little like piddly nonsense in my house, in my mind kind of like falls away. So I find myself returning to gratitude to like help, like when I'm in a lower frequency, because you can feel it, like you just know. And it's not like it, when I say that, it's not a doing, like it's happening very naturally. It's not like, oh, I have to go and sit and be in gratitude of these things. It's like, no, it'll just hit me. Like I'll be sitting here and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy my little plants are growing, and I'm so grateful, that I have natural light coming in and they can grow. It just happens. It starts happening effortlessly. I guess that's what I'm recognizing, is that while we can all do hard things, it doesn't have to necessarily be hard work like all the time.
Mm-hmm. I love that so much. I did a body love exercise a few years ago, and there my friend, she told me, Mira, every morning look into the mirror, look at yourself, and find one thing that you can truly say that you love about your body. It doesn't matter if it is this one hair or your eyes or this pimple or whatever, doesn't matter. Say one thing you truly love about your body. Doesn't matter how big or how small it is. And I really loved it, because I didn't have to fake it. Because there is the saying, fake it until you make it, and I really don't like it. And with the gratitude, I do exactly the same. Normally I write diary every day, and I write one thing down that I'm really truly grateful for. I don't have to search for it. I always have at least one thing I'm grateful for. And if it is that I have a healthy body, that I can breathe, that I have beautiful roommates, one thing I always find. And to make this naturally, I really love that. Such a simple tool, but I really believe, if every person on this planet would every day focus on one thing they're grateful for, we would live in a different world. So we should start at ourselves. So I really thank you for reminding me. Because sometimes you have, I don't know if you noticed, sometimes you have those little rituals you do, like I do it, for example, with my diary, but it becomes so natural, it becomes so normal that you do that you kind of forget how great it is that you do it. So you really reminded me on, hey, you're on your way, you're doing something, so really good for you. So don't put any more pressure on yourself. You're doing what you can.
Yeah, it like I feel the more we recognize it, the more it just becomes a natural thing. It's like what Victoria was saying in the chat in the beginning, like it creates a new neural pathway. It creates that it kind of like starts connecting those little neurons, saying, hey, let's spread this gratitude. Like they just start lighting up a little bit more, and it becomes easier and easier. And then, I don't know, I'll just be like riding down the street and I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful for my little car. Like, it's just, It becomes contagious.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. And I would like to also ask you as a last question for this call. Did you do this one big, scary, no-negotiable decision right now, or then when you read it, did you do this? And if you did something, what did you do?
So I have been wanting to create my own business from home when I was like 19. Like a long, long time. I'm like 26 now. And like I didn't know what it was going to be about until like time has went on and I started to step into my gift of astrology. And for the past year, I have been selling astrology readings, which has been really awesome and fun and super freeing. I know in the long run, though, it's not super sustainable to live that a lifestyle that I want, because that would be a lot of readings, a lot of time. And so I'm actually starting to write down like kind of like a astrology 101 class, or like a like a monthly journey, I guess, to hold space for people. Um just to create a little bit more I'm ready for the next step up of like sustainability in my business. So yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, this was the one that I didn't do. I was like, nope, not ready for it. Kind of put it on the back burner.
That's good. I mean, my step was that for, I think, 8 weeks, always when I was on Facebook, and I'm not so much on Facebook, I'm way more on Instagram. It showed me this site where they sell beautiful dresses, and they're not that expensive. And I saw 2-3 dresses that I really, really liked. They were so pretty. And I'm a summer child. I would love to live somewhere where it's always summer or warm, because I mean, on one hand, I like the seasons in Switzerland, and on the other hand, it's just when it's always dark and gray and wet, and it's just not my weather. So I saw these beautiful dresses that just really reminded me on my summer mood. And when I read that, I was like, I'm now going to buy myself those dresses in joy and ease and freedom, because I don't, like I said before, I don't want to go in this thinking of lack. So I just ordered all those 3 dresses, because first I thought I'm just gonna buy one, and I was like, no, I'm gonna buy all of them that I saw. So I bought those 3 dresses, and that was a really big but good step for myself. Yeah.
I think one of the things that has been touched is, so right now we have been going through a huge transit in astrology where the money, or like abundance, is very closely linked to the ways of which we treat our body. They kind of are on that same material level, and how tapping into our own sense of beauty through clothing or makeup or things that make us feel sensual or create revolutionary portals to attracting abundance, and how and also like vice versa. And so I truly feel like embodiment and nourishing our bodies in sustainable ways kind of like unlocks its own source of abundance. And so I just wanted to touch on that, because I feel like that's been kind of danced around but not really fully said.
I love it. Thank you. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, absolutely. For years, I've wanted to learn more about astrology, but it's just I'm such a multi-passionate person, as all of us are, I guess. I just had to say, for now, it is just too much for me. There are just other things that I really want to get into, but therefore, I love it so much that you're into astrology. So whenever you do something, you have a very interested person here. Yeah. Yeah. So, loves, according that we're three people and you just came home from work, Victoria, I would like to ask you if there is something you would love to talk about now, or that you would like to share, that you would like to ask, because if there would be nothing left, we would kind of close the circle for today. That you can start your day and I can finish mine. That is so weird. Okay. Yeah.
I'm ready to go to sleep. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's totally. Thank you for joining. It was so good to see you. But then there's nothing. I saw Alana, you shook your head. So for you, it's okay too. Hey, it was so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your commitment, for showing up. Yeah, it nurtured my heart to hear your stories, to hear your sharings. And it really brought some sunshine into some very, very dark times. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.